Razvan for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Finally tracked him down and got him in front of me on Zoom. My man from all the way from New Zealand, former heavyweight champion of the world, Joseph Parker. Joe, where you been?
Just been in New Zealand, spending good time with my family, quality time, making the most of being home and sorting out a few things and just waiting to lock in a fight as soon as I can. The last fight I had was in December against Chisora. I wanted to get out as soon as I could after that, but with boxing, I think everyone knows that sometimes it does take time to lock in a fight and lock in, an opponent and the team you're working with. So just waiting patiently, but ready to go.
I know you're not getting any younger, and I was at your fight with Derek back in March, and you said to me then, look, I'm not planning to go back, because you didn't know if you were allowed back, but disappointed we've got to almost the second part of the year now in July that you haven't managed to secure a date and get out.
Yeah, listen, it is disappointing because as a fighter, you want to train hard and you want to fight hard, and you want to fight as often as you can, because the time that you're learning is when you're in the ring fighting, and I think as a fighter, for myself, I think when I keep busy, I get better and better. So it is frustrating in that sense, but I've just learned to take it as it comes, and just roll with it, and whatever happens, happens, and just be in a moment and enjoy life, enjoy the time I have with my family, while my team is working on locking the fight as soon as we can.
Right, let's jump into it, Joe. There's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of different comments we've been hearing regarding yourself, Sky Sports, Frank Warren. I just want to go back to kind of your interview you did on Talk Sport, where you said regarding Frank that the reason you didn't sign with Frank was because they kept changing the deal. What do you mean by that?
Listen, there's nothing wrong with Frank and the team. I'm sure they do a perfect and a great job. They look after Joe Joyce, Dubois, look after Tyson Fury. Frank has said something about my handshake didn't mean anything. We shook hands at Tyson's press conference, and we agreed a purse. Then he went back and said, sorry, that purse is, he can't fulfill that purse because he didn't talk to the team. So then, offered me this purse, and then it took a while, and then we locked in a certain amount of money. And then from there, I agreed to the Joyce fight, then it turned into a 3-fight contract. So I don't mind fighting and signing a 3-fight contract, but it had to make sense, And then even after all the months of negotiation, it still wasn't ready to sign, and that was it. Sky offered me, I think I worked with Sky in the past, and they're very good to work with. And they offered me a deal to sign with them, and that's why we went with them, because I think just the past relationship that we had helped with the decision.
So you, correct me if I'm wrong, initially you agreed with Frank to have a 1-fight deal with Joe Joyce. Are you saying Frank then decided to kind of say to you, let's do a 3-fight deal instead, and you felt the terms weren't? I'm
not sure if he said a 1-fight deal, but he shook my hand for the Joyce fight at a certain amount of money. And then when the contract was sent, it was when the discussions were going, it was a 3-fight deal. And then it was fighting this person and then fighting this person, maybe fighting this person again, was keeping it all in-house. And as a fighter, I want to fight everyone out there, So I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure, the deal probably was okay, but with things changing all the time, I wasn't ready to sign a deal that wasn't absolutely perfect.
So boxing, we know, is all about negotiations, always about trying to speak to parties to kind of get the best possible deal for yourself as a fighter. So if Sky have offered you a better deal, or a deal that you think is better, wouldn't it be wise to then go to Frank's side and say, well, Sky have offered me X, Y, and Z more. Can you counter it? Or
they weren't going to move, and it was a final, this is it, take it or leave it type negotiations that we're in. So even if we said this was the deal, they were pretty much set on take it or leave it.
So Frank did say himself, he said if Joe didn't even speak to us about the offer he got from Sky.
There wasn't a tone, to be honest. Listen, and like you said, we can go back and forth, and he can say this, I can say that, but he's got his version of the story, and we have our version of the story. And listen, I don't know who's going to believe what, and I don't really care. It's boxing business, and he wanted to sign me to be an opponent. I wanted to sign with someone who's going to look after me and treat me like their fighter.
You then text Frank saying, can this fight happen on Sky? What was the response he gave you?
I said, hey, Frank, hope all is well. Can we make the Joyce fight happen, please? And, I used my manners. And I said, can we make it happen on Sky and BT? And I know there's a lot of examples back, with fighters fighting on different, or both platforms, but there's a bigger fights. I'm not sure if the Joyce fight and myself is big enough, but I'm sure we can come to an agreement or, just something that everyone's happy with. But then again, that's me as a fighter. I train, get ready, and fight, and the promoters and the managers take care of that kind of stuff in the background.
I spoke to Ben Shalom a couple of weeks ago when it all went viral, and I said that what's the situation with Joseph Parker? And he told me that we've made a £1.2 million offer for Joe Joyce to come and fight Joseph Parker on Sky. Frank's now come out and clearly said that his fighter is not going to go on Sky Sports. Is this what is wrong with boxing? I know we talk about having many platforms and allowing fighters to the opportunity to fight on different platforms, but when it comes to crunch time to have mega fights, is this the problem that we're going to have, and we have?
Listen, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a mega fight, but I think it's a great fight. You got number one and number two fighting each other, or wanting to fight each other, and with myself, I'm talking with Sky and Box are open to doing something with Joyce and doing it on both platforms. But Frank has clearly said it's not an option. And the £1.2 million that Sky and Box are offering Joyce is more than what he's going to get paid to fight me. It's more than what I was going to get paid to fight him.
But Joe, what about the perspective of, obviously we know Joe Joyce and Dubois are in good positions within the WBA and the WBO. What about that? I believe you're number two, but if you had fought Joyce, beat Joyce, put you in an unbelievable position post Usyk Joshua.
Yeah, it would have, and it could have, but just with the, I don't know. So I don't know how to explain it, but with the contract and negotiations and having this fight at this date, this fight, this day, having the purses, making sure that you have the right purses with the right fights, and having different options just in case this happens or this happens. You can't really predict the future, but we wanted to have things in place where we sort of had a better idea of what was going to happen in the future. You're signing not just a one-fight deal, but a 3-fight deal that's going to take this much of your life and your career. So you have to make it right and work for you.
So realistically, who are kind of the opponents? And I know you might not be able to give me too much information, but who are those kind of heavyweights that you could potentially fight on Sky in the next couple of months?
Yeah, so signing with Sky was great, and signing with Boxer was awesome, and I can't wait to work with them and what the future holds. But we just need other heavyweights to be able to fight and be happy to fight, and agree to with the Joyce £1.2 million. If he's not going to take that, there's White, for example, and I'm not sure if he's going to take it. I think it'll be a great fight, be a great rematch. But anyone in the top 10, I'm not getting younger, like you said, and I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forward. I want to keep fighting the best, or the best out there, the best we can get, and progress as a fighter, not go backwards.
I know Michael Hunter has called your name out on Twitter, but obviously he was scheduled to fight Hugh Fury, which I believe Sky are very adamant to rearrange. They've spoken about Deontay Wilder. Do you think that these type of fights are realistic on the platform?
Oh, listen, they're definitely realistic. I spoke to Ben Shalom as well about Michael Hunter, and I said, listen, if Joyce is not available, if White's not available, what about Michael Hunter? And he said that Michael was already contracted to fight Hughie Fury, so he was locked. He said that he was available to fight, he wasn't. And I got this from his promoter, so they know more. And Deontay, anyone, just like I'm eager to fight and eager to get in the ring and just want to sign the fight and get on with it.
So realistically, where do you kind of fit in then? Is it September, October now?
End of September, I'm looking at fighting. I'll probably be in the UK sometime soon, probably in the next few weeks, to get into camp, get into a good routine, and start chipping away, start training, and get in better shape than I am now.
So that means you'll only end up fighting once this year, most likely.
Listen, I want to fight September, end of September. Anyone who wants to fight, and want to fight in sometime in December before Christmas. The next year, if everything goes well and we get 2 wins, I want to fight 3 or 4 times if we can. Keep active. I don't want to be that fighter that just fights once a year or twice a year. That's not good for my career, and it's not good for building as a fighter.
Well, we'll look forward to the announcements in due course. Joe, before I let you go, just a quick one. Usyk Joshua 2, it's not far away, 7 odd weeks away now, taking place in Saudi Arabia. Joshua's obviously reformed his team, brought in Robert Garcia with his experience. Usyk's looking like a monster, training out of Dubai. He wants to stand up and raise his country's flag at the same time as well. How do you see this rematch playing out?
Listen, it's a great fight. It's just interesting because Joshua's got his new team, so we're not quite sure what he's been working on behind the scenes. You know, you can show whatever you want to show on social media, but it doesn't really show people what you've been working on and what you're actually doing, you know, behind the scenes. So, and USYK, you know, USYK will get better and come in with a lot more confidence. So at the moment, I'm just going to side with USYK. Just the first fight was a dominant fight from him, and I think the second one, you know, if he can come in and with the confidence that he has from the first fight, he can get the job done.
Is Fury retired? Is he staying retired, Joe? He's teased us about 500 million, $500 million. That's like your bank balance right now. But is it feasible? That kind of money?
I think Tyson's going to come back. I think if he wants to be cemented as the champion of nowadays, and you know, the unified champion, he should come back and fight the winner of Joshua USYK. But that's just my own thoughts, and I think that's the thoughts of many other people out there. But it's up to the big man himself.
But from a personal perspective, would you rather the winner of Joshua and Usyk get mandated to fight certain fighters and almost the titles become relinquished? So
unified. We need to see, you know, a unification with all the belts. When was the last time we had a unification of all the belts? Was it Lennox Lewis? So, you know, we need another unification to have all the belts with one person, and then once they scatter out, then everyone else can fight with them again.
Okay, well, Joe, thank you for giving me a little bit of time. I know it's very, very late in your end in New Zealand. And yeah, we look forward to some fight news over the coming weeks.
Thank you very much.
Joseph Parker, IFL TV, thank you very much.
Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.